February 10th, 2025. I am at Joel Pearl or thejoelpearl.com on Blue Sky. It's not so much of a mouthful today because it's a wonderful, wonderful day, a marvelous Monday. Welcome in the weeds as we are. Jeremy Lambert is here. I am back. Barely. I'm alive, just barely. My place looks like a tornado has hit it multiple times, but we're here. We're clear. We're going to have lots of fun. How you doing, Jeremy? It's good to see you.
Doing well, Joel. Doing well. How are you?
Big smile on my face because we had one hell of a Sunday and a pretty interesting weekend outside of everything else. The wrestling was okay. The fuck it, let's talk about Super Bowl halftime show ruled.
Did it rule?
Absolutely ruled. Absolutely.
Okay.
I enjoyed it on multiple levels. There's the Drake stuff. I get it. But the production on it, the artistry sounds so like full of myself, but the production, the costume, the way that they put it together, I really liked it. I really liked the way that Kendrick, his team, whoever was behind the production of it, went for it. And in a world where like we've seen Super Bowl halftime shows get nominated for Emmys, this is one that could very well, for production, for direction, get nominated. And I don't mean that as like I'm glazing Kendrick. Like it was really well done. I counted 2 times very early where I could see a camera following him while they did a top shot. Other than that, you couldn't see a camera unless you looked. And I thought that was tight. There was some really, really good stuff. Set design was fantastic. Grace in the chat saying everything was outstanding. And I agree. I thought it was really well done. Listen, music aside, and we talked about the beef. We talked about everything. I'm not the biggest rap hip hop fan, but I really enjoyed what I got to see at the halftime show. I enjoyed it.
Okay.
You're up.
I'm not surprised you enjoyed it. I know you look into that. The only thing that surprised me was you're white, Joel. And it was a bad night for pedophiles and racists because the Chiefs got stomped and Drake got stomped. And there was a lot of people who were upset over both of those things. Not me. Not me. I loved it. I thought it was great. I was looking forward to the halftime show from the very start. And I thought Kendrick knocked it out of the park. People were upset because they're white, and that was that.
You know what I did? I said when they showed Sam Jackson and they're like, it's your Uncle Sam. And I was like, oh, they brought Sam Jackson in just to be like, hey, white people, it's okay. You can watch this. You're going to learn something. Because like Sam Jackson to a bunch of white dudes is like, oh, my childhood. That's just the way it is. They were using Sam as like almost like a device to just not make it okay. Because I think that sounds a little, again, full of itself. But they used him as just as a tool to be like, deal with it. You know this guy. You should know the rest of it.
They used Samuel Jackson because his name is Sam.
Uncle Sam. I get it. Yeah. I get it. And I think there's a little more to it than that. I think they also like the fact that. Anyway, go ahead.
No, I get it, but the whole performance told a story. You know, there was a lot of storytelling in his entire performance. From don't do that. We can't have you. Go that far. That's not good. Oh, you're bringing your hoodlum friends with you. Oh, that's what okay. That you got to play that card. No, take it slower. That's what we want to see. We want to see the soft tunes. We want to see all the stars and loot. We want to see those songs out there. Don't do. And then, I want to play their favorite song, but they like to sue. It was the whole thing was doing humble in front of the American flag, the imagery of the American flag and all that. It was great. Again, told a really good story, as you expect from Kendrick Lamar. But I saw a lot of people upset, and I just laughed. I was like, all right. You guys are kind of telling on yourselves a little bit here.
We have this discussion, not you and me, but this discussion comes up every single year for the last at least 5, 6, 7, 8 years. The halftime show is not for the people who are watching the football game. And the sooner people realize and understand that this is a views-based system, and you want to keep the views up, the ratings up. You don't want to lose anything from minute to minute. People are paying hella money for those ads. So what do? You bring in the direct opposite to what the people watching the game are watching. It's as simple as that. Everyone's like, oh, bring in Metallica, bring in Kid Rock, bring in this. It's like, no. And listen, I'm a white dude. I like Metallica. Sure. I like, I like a lot of those heavy rock bands. And I've seen old halftime shows where they brought out, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, and they brought out Red Hot Chili Peppers. They've done all that stuff. Whatever, man. I get it. To do this the last few years, it just makes sense. Super Bowl halftime show is when the people watching the game go up to relieve themselves. That's it. The people and everyone else, your friend at the Super Bowl party who doesn't give a shit and is just sitting on his phone the whole time, just scrolling Twitter. I was like, well, oh yeah, sure. Okay, cool. Ha, this person said something funny about the game. Ha, they're watching the halftime show when y'all get up to pee. They're like, oh, I'm locked in for this. Put my phone down. Let's go. I watched a cumulative 15 minutes and 20 seconds of that whole show. And that was basically the 13 minutes of the halftime show performance and then the last like 20 seconds of the game, because that was a boring ass game for me and I don't care about football. So just get over yourselves, man. It ain't for you because it doesn't need everything to be for you. Not you know what I'm talking about. You don't need to be catered to for the whole show. Just let other people enjoy something different. You're trying to keep the ratings up. And they did it. And they got more ratings out of it because people tuned in to watch this man do his thing. It was great.
Yeah. Look, the halftime show I thought was fantastic. But I was always going to like it. Unless the performance just sucked or he did not perform, not like us, then I was probably always going to like it. Kendrick is 100% up my alley. I'm literally going to see him in concert in a couple of months. He performed Euphoria. That popped me. I wish he performed the whole thing, but he didn't. He performed at least part of it. He performed like the safest part of it. He didn't do the hate the way that you walk, way that you talk, way that you dress. That was the part that he should have gone with. But overall, I thought it was a good performance. It was the game sucked. And so many people, oh man. When the Eagles went up big, everyone's like, oh, but what about the Falcons and the Patriots? Remember what happened there? And even my lovely wife was like, Falcons and Patriots, because that's the talking point, right? Oh, this happened. Mahomes can do it. It's like, that was a once in a lifetime event. The Patriots come back against the Falcons. It'd be very surprising if we see something like that ever again. And we didn't see it last night, because the Eagles just continue to stomp on Patrick Mahomes. So,
you know what? The right guy at the right time has just pulled up, and we're actually scheduled to interview him. So you know what? We'll bring him on for not only some football talk, but the reason he's really here. Let's just bring him on first because he's pal of the show. Ratty Daddy's
here. What's up, friends?
How you doing, buddy?
Good. We're talking about the dog walking of the Patrick Mahomes, the Kansas City Chiefs last night. That game, whoo! Hey, when Patrick Mahomes threw that first TD pass to Xavier Worthy, it was like Chris Paul hitting that three down by 48. Legendary moment. It's typical. Everybody hates greatness, so everybody's here to shit it on the Chiefs and everything else. Trust me, it's a longtime Colts fan. Any New Englander could get it, All right, any Patriots fan, we fight them on site. But honestly, last night I was just hoping for a competitive game without any referee controversy or whatever, and especially with that first flag of the game, I get hands to the face. That was my only internal reasoning for it. But I was like, all right, it's gonna be a long strap in. It's gonna be a long night. And it turned out completely different. Cooper DeJean, pick 6. Hey, pile driver, I agree with you. It didn't look so great last night. Sometimes people they don't show up,
The first flag, it was like, oh yeah, here we go. And then they
Yep.
immediately evened it out on the next drive that the Chiefs had calling, or no, the Eagles had calling that pass interference on third down. It's like, okay, well, that's
a
the
give.
call.
That's a give. Yeah, that's a give
Yeah.
back. That's a. You know what? Roger said no shit tonight.
Yeah.
All right.
And then I mean, then the referees didn't have a chance to influence the game because the Eagles just stomped them the entire time.
Absolutely.
So,
my favorite is everybody thought it was run, and they just threw the dart like the dagger.
Oh yeah, the
and
dagger.
literally.
Oh, look at Cole's
Oh, now he's back.
There we go.
Yeah,
Okay.
y'all froze on my end. I got so scared. I was like, what happened? No, they threw that dagger at the end, and I thought it was awesome. You know, just to pull one up, especially when they're thinking run. It was a good game. Joel, how you been, brother?
I'm doing well, man. It's good to see your face again.
Good to see you, man. It's been a while.
I just got a message from our anonymous general manager on the show saying, I love it when Cole shows up looking like he's at a rave at 10:15 in the morning. You got the lights flashing and everything's blurry.
I swear I set them to blue, and now they're just going crazy. So
let me set this up.
I have some early morning Rocket League to play. Come on.
This weekend is the JCW Jersey J-Cup 2-night event. In the past, we've done a lot of promotion for the J-Cup. We had a lot of guests last year. 2 years ago, before we were doing this show, I interviewed a ton of guests. Orange Crush is very, very kind and sets a lot of the stuff. And so we're scheduled to have a bunch of different guests this week for everybody. I'm not going to say who because I did that last time and then stuff got rearranged and I don't like promoting until they show up. The funniest part though is I was like, yeah, can we just get like anybody, just toss out there? And he's like, how about Cole on Monday? I was like, does Cole know what show he's doing? Does he know what show he's about to come on? Because Cole always comes on this show. And then this morning, you were scheduled to be here at like 11. And then this morning, you're like, can we do 10:15? I got something to do at 11. Okay. I was like, oh, this guy already. This guy.
Okay, dude. To be fair, Adam was like, hey, anytime during this week, when can you do it? I was like, Monday through Thursday, let me know. And so then you guys said like, 10 to 12. And so I was like, okay, sweet. Jeremy will send me a message. Joel, that's what a friend would do was, send a message.
I am putting a giant group chat with everybody.
So like I would thought, you'd be like, hey, Cole, it's your pal Jeremy. What time would work best for you? You said you're showing up at this time, bitch.
That's not true at all. This is what Orange Crush really gave me. He's like, Cole can do this time. So I was like, here's the times I was given. So here's what I have laid out.
Man.
Did you boss up Ratty Daddy? Did you tell him what time he's showing up and when? What are you doing here? Jeremy, you're much more professional than this.
Come on, Jeremy.
I'm trying to bully Cole. Oh,
I don't think it's trying. Come on,
Rich.
Get better. Me. You know what? There's a table somewhere around here.
Listen, Cole, I'm apologizing on behalf of the show and the channel for the way that Jeremy treated you.
And this
conversation.
And I just want to apologize to the people for Jeremy. That's all. Not any specific reason, but yeah, man. Jersey J-Cup this weekend, fired up. Big match. Me. And do you know who?
Yeah, your
tag partner, baby.
Yeah,
tag partner, baby.
You're gonna take an Alec Price. You've had his number.
Price City OG.
You've had his number though. You got 2 up on him.
Hey. But if I know Busta's always going to bring his best, and you never know. But yeah, it's definitely an intriguing first round match. Didn't expect to draw my tag team partner, but here we are. So yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Can you do like a double pen and then you both advance, or are you both out if you do that?
It's a very good question.
Just throwing out ideas for you,
they do multi-man matches to move on in the
Like,
cup. So could happen.
if we pin the referee and count to 3, does that count?
Sure.
I think the referee somehow moves on in that case. Don't know how. It's just the rules of wrestling.
Okay. Yeah, no, unfortunately I don't know. I don't think a double pin would work in this scenario. I think we would probably both end up taking it out, both literally and morally. I don't think that's kind of in either one of me and Alex's DNA. What I will say is, I know how Alec is wired and how I'm wired. It's going to be competitive. Like, we don't have it in us to hold back. We don't have it in us to go 80%. We both only know how to go and just go 100%. So I'm not expecting a easy night in the office. I'm not expecting an easy match. I'm expecting to go in there with one of my best friends, my brother, my co-tag team champion, and we'll walk in there, we'll shake hands, we'll fight it out, and at the end of the match, win, lose, or draw, the garbage daddies will continue to go on, and one of us is going to win the tournament. That's the thing that sucks most, is it doesn't build up to me and Alec in the finals. Because I think if you put me or Alec on the either side of the bracket and then we build that motherfucker to the end, it ends up Alec Price, Cole Radrick, because we're the two best going right now. But right now, go ahead.
You guys are the GCW Tag Team Champions. Won the
World Tag Team Champions.
GCW World Tag Team Champions. That's right. I was getting to there. Of you have
See,
taken
this
them
is why I had to apologize to the
overseas.
people. Joel would have hit that right on the head, you know.
Well, I mean, hold on. I'm gonna let this is for journalistic integrity. I'm gonna let Jeremy finish the question, and then we can assess whether or not he made the mistake. Jeremy, let's get the question.
You have taken the titles overseas. You've defended them in London. You've defended them in France as well, right?
No.
No, that didn't happen?
Different. Correct. London,
Okay.
we defended them against Lycos Gym.
Yeah.
Which
Okay.
the fucking Lycos Gym fucking rules. Shout out Lycos Gym. Let's run that match back because that was sick. And I think people over here in the States honestly deserve to see that match. And they pushed me and Alec to our best. And I would like to run it back. You know, you're only like iron sharpens iron, and you're only as good as you push yourself to be. And that's kind of one of those things I like. And that's why I'm looking forward to Saturday, is because I know the type of wrestler Alec Price is. I know the way he moves. I know how he thinks, and it's going to be really interesting to see how I can use all that knowledge and apply it and see what we can do together. And I think at the end of the night, one of us is going to walk out. I think I have an idea who, but we'll just keep that to ourselves. It's going to be competitive. I'm sure at some point he's going to hit me. I'm going to hit him. And at the end of the night, loser buys the first beer. We go about our day.
What if you guys don't hit each other the entire match?
Listen, I don't think we will. I hope it doesn't come to that. I think either one of us is able to, restrain ourselves in that sense. But I think at the end of the day, blood is thicker than water. He's one of my best friends. He's my brother. And no matter what, I think he's going to bring it just the same way I bring it. And only one of us can walk out the winner. And I think we both understand that.
So with all that in mind, it's a pretty vast field.
Yes, absolutely. It's fucking huge field.
I'm sure you've had a chance to look at least a couple of names. Is there anyone that really jumped out to you that you would look forward to taking on if you make it past Alec in the first round?
Amazing Red.
That's what I expected to hear.
Let's go.
You two, have you worked together before? Have you worked with
Never.
All right.
Never.
I was gonna say, because you've been around the JCW, GCW talent for so long that like you would have faced almost everyone on this list, but I didn't know about Red. So Red would be a fun one for you.
Yeah, give me Amazing Red. That would be awesome. second round, third round, final round. I don't care. I want it all, man. Let's go.
Taking the titles to London, the GCW World Tag Team Championships, first title defense in London. By the way, Violence is Forever. They held those titles for like over 400 days. Never took them out of the United States. Never defended them outside of the United States, I should say. So to take them to London, has everything like started to sink in a little bit? Because you were busy immediately. You won the titles at Hammerstein. You stopped at a Sbarro's on the way home to Indiana, and then you went immediately overseas. Like going overseas after a week at Hammerstein, and then now you're home. You had the show in Indiana. Things started to like sink in for you yet?
A little bit, yeah. You know, but you never try to take things for granted. You try to enjoy things in the moment. So like being able to travel over to Paris and London and to have these experiences with BZW and in Camden, it's just I'm very lucky. I always tell anybody like, don't get it wrong, I definitely worked hard, but I'm also very, very lucky and to be able to go see the Eiffel Tower and to do it by doing my dream, to do during my meet and greet, meeting dozens and dozens of fans in France that literally, you know, paid extra to come and meet me. Like those things are very humbling, and I don't take them for granted. It's very unique from a small town guy to live that, and it's just been busy, man. I'm sorry, but it's go. Haven't really caught up on sleep, and just trying to take it one day at a time and be thankful.
Jeremy Lambert, ever the professional, you should know VIF did put the tag titles up in
Germany. Oh, I thought Germany.
I don't know about Germany. Germany, they may have been. That was a WXW tour. That was
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought Germany, if I'm being honest.
But Canada, they definitely brought it to Canada. Had tag title match. You were at that show.
Yeah, Jeremy. What the hell?
Together. Canada doesn't count. Are you kidding me? Canada doesn't count.
Whoa, dude. Canada definitely counts.
It counts.
Shout out my family, Northern Crown. I love y'all. Canada definitely counts, bro.
We're going to be seeing you in a couple of weeks up here, aren't we?
Mexico North. It doesn't count.
Shout out my guy, John Wolf, in the chat. He's a legend, bro. Shout out the GCW Game Changer Weekly podcast. Shout out John Wolf. That's my family from Vegas, bro. That's the man.
We do our homework. We just love to rag on each other when it comes to interviewing Ratty Daddy.
Game Changer Weekly is a very good podcast. Everyone should check it out. It's on Body Slam.
And Fightful Overbook's pretty good too.
You don't have to praise us too much.
I'm praising Joel for sure.
Oh,
fair.
Love Joel.
Fair. Sure.
When I come to work, everyone's happy.
Yeah, two-show Joel over here. Sometimes coming to work, not often, but sometimes.
Joel has to travel. Joel has to travel. You saw my travel setup. It wasn't that great.
That's fair. That's very fair. You teamed with Trevor Outlaw and Hayden Backlund. Hot Commodity is what the name.
Brother. Yes, sir. Yeah.
Why?
Listen, man, it was the unfortunate luck of the draw that I was put in a situation that there was these two little birds. They needed to learn to fly, and I just had one wing here, and I tried to teach them. I tried to show them unfortunately, it didn't work out too well for Hot Commodity in our debut, but we did whip their ass on Saturday for Midwest Territory. Me and Alec kept the tag belts for the record. So, yeah, but fuck Trevor Outlaw.
Trevor Outlaw, yeah, he's kind of a jerk, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna whoop his ass at Freelance Wrestling at Logan Square in a couple weeks.
I'm interested in seeing that, having interacted with both of you at different times.
February 22nd, Chicago, Illinois.
My goodness, you're a busy man.
After you're the new
and then, I do that.
champion.
after. So get this, right? I'll win the Jersey J-Cup. Next week, whoop Trevor Outlaw's ass in Logan Square Auditorium. Next day, me and Alec whip up the artist formerly known as the Bang Bros ass at Northern Crown of Canada. And then the week after that, I think it's like St. Louis and something else. So very busy boy, but we're going, baby. I'm very lucky and very thankful, very happy, and just always keep pushing.
Now, hold on. Who came up with Hot Commodity as a name?
Well, Trevor Outlaw and Hayden Backlund are hot commodity.
Yeah,
Joel.
so you just kind of
And there's that cow.
you just put yourself in there. I don't know if someone was just like, we got to do a new team name, or if you were just like, nah, just put me in there, but just slot myself in the middle. I don't know.
Commodity forever, brother.
Nobody wants to like actually team with Trevor Outlaw. That's not a real thing.
That's fair.
You're just kind of like against your will. You just have to.
I mean, to be fair, Hayden is a Buffalo Bills fan, so it kind of checks out why he would be friends with Trevor Outlaw. So,
does Trevor have a team? Is I don't know if he likes.
I think he's a Bears fan.
Oh,
I think he's more of a Bulls fan. Unfortunately,
that's not any better, honestly.
Yeah, no.
Just support mediocre and lower. That's unfortunate.
Why does all Chicago sports suck right now? It's great.
Yeah. I'm a Colts fan, but it's great to be an Indiana fan because Indiana's own Cole Radrick is going to win the gosh dang Jersey J-Cup.
Why weren't you in the Royal Rumble? I was expecting you to show up, and I was like, oh, I'm waiting for all my friends are dead to hit. I was just waiting, and then you never showed up. I was a little disappointed. I had money on you.
I know, dude. They replaced me with a Bella late. Can you believe that?
I had heard from very credible, reliable sources that you were actually supposed to be number 31 in the Rumble.
Oh, that stupid bit. Stop it, Joel.
I didn't start it. I'm merely perpetuating the most awful bit in all of wrestling Twitterverse.
The best bit is when Jeremy shows up to the Smitty this year.
When is it?
In August. I think we can probably announce the date here.
Hell yeah.
Publicly.
Okay.
Coming up. In April.
Well, but announce a date in April. Okay.
Yes. So, but I showed speed instead of Cole. Okay, that's funny. Thanks, guys.
Well, you probably got lucky in that case.
The worst one is Jeremy hitting me up about getting my identification.
Oh, we brought that up on the show, though. Have you gotten yours yet? Have you gotten it? Is it in the mail?
We did that on the
Joel, I appreciate for the good friend that you are.
I'm a journalist. I'm trying to get answers out here.
We are. Yes, it's very important for us to be on it. We have to be accurate. We cannot operate on assumption. We have to ask the hard questions. Sometimes, here's a good example. This past week, Kevin Owens tweets out something about buying Girl Guide cookies and he'll wrestle for the next 4 years, 11 months, and 29 days, whatever that was. And people are like, oh, he re-signed a contract. We can't just assume that. So we have to reach out and we have to make sure that it's official. And so it was. So this was us doing our due diligence and making sure that we dot our I's, cross our T's, and we make sure that you get your identification.
Would you take a spear from Braun Breaker? I'll go in a different direction. Would you take a spear from Braun Breaker?
Right after I put you through a table.
Would you spear Jeremy through the table?
This sounds terrible.
Good chance. There's a good chance.
Terribly fun.
Can you DM me when I won't spoil it. Can you DM me when the Smitty is? Okay.
I got you.
Because I got a busy August, 12 kids, they got birthdays. And so a birthday might fall in that time.
But you know what leads to the Smitty? The Jersey J-Cup.
Technically true. Yes.
And you get a guaranteed Garbage Daddy's victory in the Jersey J-Cup. one of us will walk out the winner and win the whole damn thing.
Hey, if you win the Jersey J-Cup and you bring it all the way to the Smitty, would you put up the Smitty? Win the J-Cup? Or would you put the J-Cup, the JCW World Championship? Would you put that up in the Smitty in a match?
There's a good chance. I would put it up.
All right.
I had to get the approval of Orange Crush.
I feel like a show of that caliber would merit a JCW World Championship defense.
Oh yeah, you know, while we're mentioning Orange Crush here, I want to mention shout out Orange Crush. He sponsored the Smitty last year, so good, notable good guy Orange Crush for the record, so everybody knows. So just wanted to shout him out. But yeah, I'm very excited. My cat has decided to join up here. I got her some space on the desk, so she's really happy. I am fired up for this weekend. Jersey J-Cup, big show, big tournament, stacked field. Rad Daddy winning the whole damn thing. I don't know.
I might be pulling for you. I might cheer for you. I don't know.
I can't.
There's a lot of good people in this tournament. There's a lot of people I like.
Alexis Littlefoot, shout out. Hey. There are a lot of people to like, but you have your longtime pal, your buddy, your friend.
That's true.
Ready, Daddy.
Oh, shout out to King Potato. This whole time I thought you guys were saying Jersey Jacob. Someone needs
that should be an entrant.
Yeah,
Jersey Jacob should be an entrant.
Jersey Jacob. Who on this field could be Jersey Jacob? Jack Cartwheel is going to be Jersey Jacob Cartwheel. I think I'm all about it. All right, Cole. We're gonna let you go. We're gonna let you cuddle some kitties. Go check them out. Check out the Jersey J-Cup. It's this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Wedding Hall, New Jersey. Tickets are go to the Jersey CW on Twitter. It's got a link to the tickets. Get them there. Ratty Daddy wants to go full way, get it done, but you got to go through your teammate first. Anything you want to over?
Hey, Alec, love you, brother. I'll see you Saturday.
That's it.
Bye, Cole.
I was waiting to hear the mouse click, and I did. I knew
it's on Triller. It's on Triller Plus as well. If you're not able to make it, both nights are on Triller Plus. Saturday night, night 1. Sunday night, night 2. A champion, a Jersey J-Cup champion, will be crowned. We appreciate Cole. We appreciate Orange Crush as well. Again, I was mentioning at the top of the show for the past 2 years, like he's been very kind in tossing guests towards us. And we had a bunch on last year and we're scheduled to have a bunch this year. I did find it very funny when the first one he named was Cole can do Monday. I was like, does Cole know what he's doing? Because Cole's a regular. So, and then, I wake up this morning. Cole's like, hey, can we do this time? I was like, this guy over here, this guy. It's like, of course we can do this time, Cole. Of course. Love Cole Radrick. He's the best.
Cole's one of the only people who can pop on this show and we can just fire away any question based on previous interviews.
So, for those who do or don't know, but, we have the static link for this thing. So like anybody who has it can pop on. And I'm in like a chat with everybody who's scheduled to join us this week. And I just posted it in there. I was like, here's the link. It's the same for everybody. So I don't know if like at some point, like somebody's just going to randomly pop on. Like I thought I was supposed to be today.
I wish that they would all just kind of show up as one person is talking and just do a promo off. Let's go. Just have all the Jersey J-Cup J-Cup CUP participants come and join us just for a big promo off. That was for you, King Potato, who thought we were talking about Jersey Jacob. That's someone else. That's Jersey Jimmy Jacobs.
Jersey Jacob would be good, honestly. That's a
good
name.
Pitch that one.
Yeah, that's a good name.
By the way, I'm going to pitch to you to leave a thumbs up on the video because we're a half an hour in and I got sidetracked by a million other things. There's the Pyro Ballyhoo. And subscribe to the channel. We're building. We're growing. It's great to see you there. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button and donate a super chat. Any amount gets your question or statement read on the air. It also drives our conversation. That way, Cyclops is better than Wolverine could say the Pointer Sisters should have been the halftime show. I would have loved it, except there's only one Pointer Sister left alive. So you had to do an AI or a hologram version of them, but that'd be fine. Tender is saying Serena Williams looking fire. Love K-Dot. That ruled. And did you see her little video that she posted to her socials afterwards?
Oh yeah. Where she
If I
was
crip
very
walked during Wimbledon, I would have been fined.
Yeah.
That shit was great.
That was fantastic. Shout out
Yes.
to Serena Williams. She deserved that
She had
stomping on that man's grave.
good show. And Ryan Lambert said, skip the Super Bowl, hosted a board games night instead. We watched the halftime show. It was chef's kiss. Kendrick did amazing. I agree. It was a good show. It was a fun show. It's a lot of fun nights over on the wrestling. Thanks for the clarification on the name. You're welcome, King Potato. I got you. If nothing else, we are the masters of clarification. As always, I ask the question, Jeremy Lambert, where should we start? We've had a busy weekend.
Have we?
In some ways, yes. I mean, Friday and Saturday were busy. We already talked about Sunday, but Friday we had SmackDown. We also had some news about WWE releases that we're going to touch on. Saturday night's Collision had some pretty solid wrestling and some pretty solid storyline beats move forward, which I appreciated, and some stuff that I was like, why didn't you do it this way? But we'll talk about all that. Where should we start? Where should we go?
Let's get the bad news out of the way. Let's get the bad stuff out of the way.
Sure, why not? I usually try to wait until about 45 minutes in, but we're looking good. So let's talk about these WWE releases on SmackDown, or during SmackDown on Friday. Several WWE superstars were announced as released. Most of them came from their socials, and then Fightful Select also followed up on our free tier. We do have a free tier over on Fightful Select. You can subscribe now. Cost is $0, and we put the non-paywall news stuff like releases. So you want to read down the names, because I only have so many of them, and unfortunately there were quite a few of them.
I can. I did not know you were going to throw to me on that.
Here, I can give you Giovanni Vinci, Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows, Isla Dawn, Blair Davenport, Sonya Deville, whose contract was not renewed, so she is in a bit of a different situation, but still lumped in with the names. And who am I missing? Cedric Alexander is another one.
Okay, I'll read down. Okay, so Sonya Deville, contract not being renewed. AOP, Akaman Rezar, Paul Ellering, Blair Davenport, Cedric Alexander, Gallows and Anderson, Good Brothers, Isla Dawn, Giovanni Vinci, and reportedly Elektra Lopez. Those are the names.
Yes, we're waiting on confirmation for Elektra Lopez. We are just waiting for that, and when we do, we'll put it up on Fightful Select. We know PW Insider did announce that Elektra Lopez had departed WWE, so we'll find out more as it comes. These are a lot of different stories about these names, but one very similar story being a lot of them were being used, or at least used to a full potential. And as a result, many of them were let go. It sucks. I mean, I don't like seeing anyone lose their job. There is an understanding, however, that sometimes if you're not factored in and there isn't anything to do, then they move you. This is unfortunate. The unfortunate reality of both entertainment and sport in this case, that when there are other people waiting to move up or fill a spot, then a spot gets emptied in order to let that person fill the spot. One thing that Fightful Select had reported, that there was a belief among NXT talent staff that some of these, or most of these releases, were to make room for upcoming NXT talent to join the main roster. Again, my hope is that if that is the case, there will be creative plans set for them, because in the case of at least one, and I'm thinking of Blair Davenport, she just kind of got brought up and nothing much happened from there. She did a short stint with Naomi. They had a little feud. And then after that, she just kind of disappeared. And a lot of people wondered, where was Blair Davenport? Looks like there was never really any plan for her. So I'm hoping that if they are going to be bringing up NXT talent from this, there is a plan. Get your thoughts on all this.
I would hope that's the case, but not counting on that being the case. You know, Indy Hartwell, who got released in October of last year, she did an interview and was like, yeah, there's no real plan when I got brought up. She's the NXT Women's Champion at the time of the draft. And she's like, yeah, there's no real plan. I think they wanted to maybe do something with the way, but stuff kept getting cut or pushed back. And then they didn't end up doing that. It's like, oh, okay. A lot of times doesn't feel like there is a plan when they bring certain talent up. And, you know, you would hope there would be, but it doesn't feel like that's the case when NXT talent gets brought up. Sometimes there is, you know, sometimes they, in the case of a Braun Breaker, they might have an idea of what they're going to do. You know, Carmelo Hayes didn't do a whole lot for a few months when he first got brought up. He just kind of had matches, but there didn't seem like there was any actual plan for him. It was just, oh, we're going to keep him on television to have matches, and then we'll figure something out. Blair Davenport was the same way. They brought her up, had some matches, and then didn't have anything further. It looked like she was going to align with Isla Dawn and Alba Fire at one point. That seemed to be a thing that never really went anywhere. And now, two of those three have been released. Gallows and Anderson are the weird one to me, because one, they just got rehired a couple years ago after being released. Anderson's hurt. Never love releasing a guy when he's injured and can't go out and sign and make money. I know he's going to get the 90 days, but he's supposed to be out longer than potentially those 90 days.
So Sean had mentioned in his Q&A today that with Carl Anderson, it's 3 to 6 months. And if the belief is that he's closer to 3 than 6, then everything will have worked out, and it is what it is. So I agree with you, though. I very much agree with you that it's a strange situation releasing, and it's not great optics releasing someone when they're hurt. Again, if he comes back in 3 months and he's good, it's a different conversation. But as of right now, we don't know how much longer he has on his recovery. And as a result, it is a little strange, and it's not great optics. I'll let you continue.
Yeah, it's not great optics regardless of it is. Even if he is going to be back in 3 months and he'll be cleared by the time his 90 days would be up, it's still shitty optics of releasing a guy when he is injured. They were doing stuff with them in NXT, but then Anderson got hurt, and they don't see Gallows as a singles guy. They're obviously not with AJ right now and won't be. So I guess, again, they didn't have plans for him. Cedric was just on television. He just had the match with Ethan Page not too long ago. He seemed to be factored into the Ethan Page, Javon Evans story, and then gone. Vinci was the guy, they repackaged him, and then he lost in 3 seconds, and they clearly just had nothing for him. They clearly just didn't have a real plan for him. They did the loss, and they were trying to make it something, and nothing for him. But it's always unfortunate when these releases happen. I hate that they do them in the middle of a show on Friday. Like, what? Stop it. Stop doing this stuff in the middle of the show. Like, these people have friends backstage who then have to go out there. Like, they're finding out about it as they're trying to work and everything. It's just poor timing altogether. It's poor timing, period. But it's really poor timing when you're trying to run a show and you're doing this when none of these people were being used or anything. But Elektra Lopez, she's technically on SmackDown. She technically could have appeared when it came to the show alongside Santos Escobar. I hate when they do it during the show. Yet to them, they didn't see any of these people as future main event stars or anything like that. But a handful of them being used. AOP was with Karrion Kross, but they hadn't been on television alongside Kross for the last, really since the stuff with the Wyatt 6 ended. It's just kind of been Kross by himself or with the Miz. And that was kind of that for AOP. They didn't see them as future stars. They thought they were expendable. It still sucks. The whole thing sucks. There was the report of, this was months ago at this point, that they were just going to kind of let contracts run out and releases weren't going to be a big thing anymore. And they're not letting contracts run out. I guess in the case of Sonya, that's where they went. In the case of Baron Corbin, that was kind of how that played out as well. But they've still done releases, and I don't imagine they're going to stop doing releases.
There were also some staff allegedly that had been released during the time as well. So there was a post on Reddit. It was a verified post. So the mods allegedly did their work of a video editor who got released. They were working on social team, and they loved their job, and they were gone. So it does happen. It's not the end. We hope that these people, pull up and do some great stuff, whether they're working behind the scenes or in front of the camera. People are mentioning, Elektra Lopez did appear on SmackDown. She did in that backstager with Legado del Fantasma and Motor City Machine Guns and Berto and Angel. So she was there. And
right. I
Yeah, I know.
Apologies to me. I missed the segment.
That's fine. I saw it and I was like, that's strange because if she is gone, then that's another one. And Kim Gray, who was at the show, said that Isla Dawn filmed a match for Speed at SmackDown. So she was there and I guess then told, or maybe she was told earlier in the day and she wanted to be a professional. And again, they know how many
But
eyes.
that's still shitty.
It is shitty. Don't get me wrong. The only way I'm saying this is because I like to at least put some sort of positivity out there, and that is a lot of these wrestlers know that if they're still on the product even post release, the eyes are still there, the content, like, it's still fresh in people's minds. So Isla Dawn's match on Speed probably is going to get some eyeballs on it, and she won't be working for the next 90 days, but at least like a match like that, who knows when it airs or if it airs, that's the other question, but that is still something that's out there while they're not. So in the eyes of some talent, it's like, I'm going to be here as long as I can in whatever form I have, and then that's it. So we'll see.
I think it'll still air because they aired. Who was Ali got released and he filmed a match for WWE Speed. It was somebody. I apologize if it wasn't Ali. But it was somebody. It filmed the match for WWE Speed after they'd gotten released that aired after they had been released. So I assume the match will still air, but yeah, that's the Ricochet. Okay,
Oh,
Ricochet. So it was Dijak as well. Apparently, this has happened multiple times.
So there you go. And again, some of these wrestlers, I'm bringing this up because some of them have even said flat out, I'm still on the program and I'm still getting paid. So it's fresh eyes on my content. Like, I'm still out there. So good for them. I mean, if that's the way they want to see it, then that's totally their prerogative. I agree. It looks shitty when it's happening, especially on a Friday night. And some of them are brought in for the show. And then by the end of the night, they don't have a job, or at least they've got the next 90 days to sit at home and contemplate what they're going to do next. And that could be depressing, or it could be motivating. It could be anywhere in between. And the hope is they all land on their feet. They all find something to do. This is a good time to be in that sphere because wrestling on multiple planes looks good. So I hope that they see that, and I hope that they all find their way to whatever chapter's next.
Yeah, Ricochet's contract expired and he didn't renew. He wasn't released. Yeah, Indy was released the day her match aired on SmackDown because it was taped the week before. I do remember that. So I think the name I was thinking of was Dijak. And yeah, he had, that was still a contract not renewal / release. That was one of the weird, because he said like his contract was coming up, but yeah, he still filmed something for Speed and it got aired later on. Ali he had a title match the week he got released. He was supposed to compete at the NXT pay-per-view and he got released. So it's just an unfortunate situation. And the timing, they don't put too much thought into the timing. They just do it. And then say, all right, well, anyway, we got another show to do. We got more matches to film. Next man up mentality. That's how they view it.
You can make the argument that is the way it is in wrestling. And a lot of these talent, they know it. And it sucks, but it's also part of the inherent risk of doing your job. Someone like Sonya Deville, who didn't have her contract renewed, she's on the roster for 10 years. Definitely made the most out of a lot of her opportunities. And she's someone that has a lot of people behind her that have expressed interest in guiding her through this process, because I don't think she was ever an indies person. Like, she came straight from MMA and did Tough Enough and kind of moved from there. So there are a few talent who run into that situation, and if they've made good friends and good connections, then those people are going to help them navigate, whether it's the indies or another company. The options are there. A lot of the talent that got released, they're also people who have worked the indies in a lot of cases. So again, I'm cautiously optimistic for them, and I hope that they land on their feet as soon as 90 days are up. They're getting paid, which is nice, but they got to figure out what's next for them.
And it's always different. Indy Hartwell mentioned she liked the 90 days because you're allowed to kind of collect your thoughts, collect next steps, figure out next steps, and talk to people and see how they approach things and what they're able to do. Like, it's different for everyone. I don't like doing this is where I think this person's going to go and this is where that person is going to go. because it always just comes down to the preference of these people. Yeah, so many times people see WWE as kind of the end all be all, and once they're not there, they don't do a whole lot. Whether that's their choice or they don't get as many bookings as they thought they were going to get, whatever it might be, but they just don't do a whole lot. And there is only so many spots for some of this stuff too. AEW only has but so many spots. TNA only has but so many spots. Like, could they use some of these talents? Yeah, easily. But then you're looking at, all right, well, if you're gonna hypothetically sign Cedric, all right, well, where does he fit? I know everybody wants to put him in the Hurt Syndicate, but who's that kind of taken away from? Because if he's going to wrestle a match, that means somebody else is not going to wrestle a match. And I'm always very conscious of that kind of stuff. And again, I'm conscious of just the talent in general and how many people sadly get released and then they don't go on to do a whole lot when we think they might, or at least they don't do a whole lot to the public eye. I look at a guy like Elias or Elijah. He's reportedly signed with ROH now. Like, how long did it take him to get there? We haven't even seen him on television yet. It's just he's reportedly signed. He did some like indie shots and everything, but he didn't exactly immediately jump into TNA and hit the ground running with them or anything. Like, it takes time for some of these people, and sometimes they don't have the desire to do any of that. They just go on to other ventures, which is completely in their right as well. They just wrestling, WWE was it for them. They like WWE. They don't feel like doing the indie stuff. They don't feel like going through all of that. They decide to pursue other interests.
Good example of that is Tucker. Tucker just did an interview with SC Scoops that went up, and he's happy just to be a dad now. He was like, I spent my 20s wrestling. Now I get to show my kid, my toy figures and all that, and do more stuff at home. So he's an amateur wrestling coach now in Vancouver. So like he's doing fine. Some of them are gonna stick with wrestling, and some of them are gonna move along. There is reporting out there, if I fully put it out there, that Malachi Black's roster page photo has been taken down from the AEW website. PW Insider has said that he is now a free agent, so it all goes both ways, and now we'll see who winds up where. Malachi Black is potentially expected to go back to WWE, but we'll see, and we're still waiting on reporting that confirms that he is a free agent. So there is at least one outlet reporting that, and we have said that his roster page photo and profile has been removed. So there you go. One more thing to think about.
Yeah, his roster page photo was there as of February 3rd, and now it is not there. So as of at least a week ago, he was on the AEW roster. Now he's not, which would seem to indicate he's not part of the company anymore. I know Fightful and Sean put out there in January that the AEW roster is a pretty good indicator of where things stand with people, and he is no longer on the roster page. Obviously, they've made allusions to him not being there. They turned him into a dog in the vignette, and Will Ospreay has said, you're on your own, and Cope has said, you guys are on your own now. So they're making, the dark arts stuff with Chad Gable. Everyone seems to point to, oh, that's Malachi, because he's got the dark arts gym. So the dark arts of Lucha Libre, everyone seems to point to that being Malachi.
That would suck, but also would be hilarious. I don't know where Malachi is going to land if he goes to WWE. It feels like he would be a SmackDown star. Chad Gable and the Creeds are not SmackDown stars, even though they were the first to arrive in the transfer window on an episode of SmackDown to announce that there is a transfer window.
I mean, he could be on Raw and then move to SmackDown. It doesn't really matter.
He wins the U.S. title in a ladder match at WrestleMania, and that moves him to SmackDown.
It doesn't. There's no brands. It does not matter.
That's true. Wrestling is silly. Nobody cares. So Ten Ruzet said AOP had heat from the failed UK show and asking if Cedric would go to AEW. Again, there's a belief, or at least a push, that Cedric Alexander going to AEW is a possibility. And AOP, yeah, I think a lot of people knew about, or at least people who follow these bubbles, knew about this UK show that they had tried to do. A lot of talent had signed on for it, and then it went under. It didn't happen. And no one Yeah, no one was happy about that, but they came in. As Sean had reported, there was a push to put them with Karrion Kross because Kross is well liked backstage, and that some of the heat would kind of go away because of their pairing. But here we are. They're gone for now, and we'll see where they wind up because they're still interested in wrestling, according to Fightful Select. AOP and Paul Ellering want to work together, whether that's as a package deal, we'll see, and they'll land on their feet. I'm not too worried about the old AOP.
Maybe.
Yeah. A couple more, and then we'll keep moving on. Tenruz is saying, love the PlayStation icons with the game over at halftime. That stuff was funny. There's some good little things in that halftime show if you paid attention. And then Nina K-Dot and wrestling expose people and companies. I mean, there are some people who will be out there and do it. I'm excited for you just know that Anderson and Gallows are going to do a podcast the moment the 90 days are up again.
Anderson, yeah, but they'll do it before the 90 days are up. They got their own,
sure,
so they don't need to wait for 90 days. Whenever the new episode drops, which is usually Thursday or Friday, they'll talk about it.
My point was, remember the first time they did it and they made it a whole thing and it was all about the stories that came out?
Yeah, but they didn't bury anybody. Like they just
buried the company.
Paul, I mean, sort of like Paul Heyman got the most of it, and that was that. AJ was on his Twitch stream talking about Heyman as well. Anderson and Gallows are very smart in they don't burn bridges, you know.
What you did there.
What?
Carl Anderson updated his Twitter, and it's a burning bridge.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, good time.
Oh, I legitimately didn't know that. That's why
I know you didn't. I was gonna say it, and then you just did. So perfect.
Okay. But like they don't burn bridges though. Like good on Carl Anderson of hyping up that this is gonna happen. Look, it's funnier for me if they go all scorched earth on this stuff. I love the stories that come out of it. But a lot of times with these releases, like you just don't get a whole lot. Jon Moxley is the exception. Jon Moxley, when he left, he was ready to talk. And he went on Jericho's podcast and he talked. Now most people are they're just gonna say good things and say, this sucks and we did this, we still have a good relationship with these people, and now we just figure out what's kind of next with everything. So I don't expect Anderson and Gallows to go scorched earth on this stuff. Maybe they will. Maybe they'll surprise me.
I doubt it. They're workers through and through. Those guys, They like to talk, but they don't talk too much. They never shut up. Just say you talk too much. Anyway, Tenruza with a super chat saying, Joel, now TNA being relegated to feeder to WWE and not a separate company in many ways. Would wrestling there be weird after being released from WWE? No, because I don't consider them much of a feeder. They've got one talent so far that has went from a TNA deal to a WWE deal, and she was already expected to go, and that's Jordan Grace. There's an expectation that Joe Hendry would follow suit, when his contract is done. But as of right now, everything that's being done between WWE and TNA is NXT related, with the idea that the NXT talent working TNA are getting more reps in front of a different audience and working different style, but a similar TV production. And then TNA talent showing up. So far, it's been people that are mostly familiar with NXT or WWE. You had JDC show up as Fandango for the first 5 minutes. Wes Lee's been a part of this whole thing. Ash by Elegance, who was the former Dana Brooke, has been around. It's been people that mostly are known by the audience. And then the NXT talent that have crossed over have been mostly unknowns until Cora Jade recently, you can argue, is the most known NXT talent other than Jordan and Joe Hendry and Wesley. Well, no, Wesley I'll take out because, again, these are the talent that they're working with right now. That are well known.
Yeah, Wesley. Why are you taking out Wesley? What did he ever do to you?
Wes is weird because I still consider him. There are times where I think Wes has a dual contract. He doesn't. I'm not saying he does, but there are times where I think Wesley is working for both because I've known him so much from his time as Dez with the Rascals that sometimes it's really hard for me to remember where he actually works. And yes, he works for WWE. So that's a me thing. That's not a me reporting or me saying. It's just I take Dez out. Sorry, I take Wes out because I conflate the two. I get confused, damn it.
Clearly.
Yes, he's Dez. I remember seeing him in an opening match at what was it? It was Bound for Glory 2017 in Ottawa. I saw him in the opening match. He was a great dude. Anyway, I don't see it as a feeder system as much as I see the partnership. The work is, until I see more, I am not going to call it what some people have called it. That's where I stand with the TNA stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, and as you know, I was saying the relationship didn't stop Speedball from signing with AEW, and while we're waiting, I think we'll see Speedball in AEW soon enough. I'm not sure what the holdup is. I have speculation about what it is, but I don't feel comfortable saying it because I just don't want to make any. I don't want people to start thinking this way, but yeah, I think he'll be there sooner than later. Should we move on from releases?
The whole the whole go pull a Drew McIntyre thing is such a dangling carrot that I cannot stand that WWE actually does it. Oh, go pull a Drew. Drew did it. Like, good on him. Drew is turned into one of the top guys in WWE. How many other people have been able to do this that have been released? Like, why? I look at Matt Cardona. Matt Cardona's done basically everything you could want a wrestler to do after being released from WWE. He got himself over on the independent scene. He completely made you forget about Zack Ryder. He reinvented himself. And it's been 5 years. And the only time you hear about him coming back is, be cool if he was a Rumble surprise, and then the Rumble passes and he's not there. And then he just does stuff in TNA. And he does stuff in GCW. He's made appearances on AEW television. Everyone's saying, oh, go pull a Drew, go pull a Drew. Drew is the exception to the rule. The rule is typically you get released by WWE, and then you just hope to do what you can, and then maybe they will bring you back, and you go from there. Most people who seem to find success outside of WWE typically leave on their own volition, and then they end up coming back. The people who get released don't find that kind of success. Cody's kind of the example that I'm talking about. Is Cody left on his own volition. Cody asked for his release. Cody wanted to leave, and then he came out and reinvented himself. And then fortunately, AEW became what it became, and he turned himself into a bigger star. Even before AEW, he turned himself into a pretty big star in ROH and then in New Japan.
Yeah,
and
he's 3 stars. Yeah.
And then AEW came along and he became a bigger star. And then he went back to WWE. Good on Cody. But look at the number of people who get released over the years. Look at the number of people who leave over the years. And look at the number of people who actually come back and find that kind of success. There just aren't that many. They're not. So the whole pull a Drew thing, it's a dangling carrot of, oh, go do that. Yeah, if it happened more, it wouldn't be so much a pull a Drew. Because everyone says pull a Drew, and the only reference point they can make is Drew. No one says, oh, this person also pulled off a Drew McIntyre, and this person did what Drew did. It's like, go pull a Drew. Like, Drew. And no one else. There just aren't that many examples.
Drew also was pushed to a certain way and had an expectation of what he could do. And so there was almost like a plan for him. It was like, we're going to keep close tabs on you. And the moment that you're doing it, we're bringing you back. And he did it. So I don't know what's left. I don't know who would come back. I don't know who's interested in this. I'm more curious about where they all wind up once they're ready. But again, I always wish them the best. It's the funnel, Jeremy. We talked about it on Friday with Def Rebel and the themes and making music in the music house. You make 100 themes and it's a big old funnel and maybe 10 of them get through. That's what's going on now with the NAL program, with the ID program, with all of the talent that are coming in or being signed or given chances. They're all going through this funnel, and very few will make it. And some of them get, locked up somewhere else. And some of them, not literally locked up, but they get stuck somewhere. And some of them just, then nothing happens. There was a report way long ago that, NXT was going to turn into this like 90-day campaign where if you don't show yourself in 90 days to 6 months, well, we're just going to let you go. Thankfully, they aren't really doing that as much. But they're definitely trying to, they're trying to figure out who's next. That's it. Anything else you want to add? Last chance. They're all saying you're preaching. So if you really want to step on that soapbox, you get up there and you yell it from the rooftops. Damn it!
A good pastor knows when his sermon is over and does not overstay its welcome.
I know some awful rabbis who just want to go on for 20 minutes because it's their God-given right to do it every time.
Nah, I don't need to do that.
This has been Talking Torah with Jeremy Lamberts. Kim Gray sent a super chat saying, "Morning all. SmackDown was so fun on Friday. Glad you made it. Jay just had to breathe and Memphis lost their minds. We were by the stairs he came in at. Oh, sweet. Exhausted from all the eating. That's tough, man. Jeremy, I gotta say, remember when this all started, when he started doing this and you were like making fun of it in your own way? And look at this. Look at us. Look at you now. Look at you now, huh? Biggest thing in wrestling.
I called it an Uzi.
You did.
Because 50 Cent used to do this.
Of course, they all did it. Oh, yeah. They all did it. Come on.
I called it an Uzi. So they've turned it into just as much of a sexual innuendo as I did. I want credit for it, honestly. I should take full credit for it.
By the way, shout out to Kim over in the Fightful Select Discord and the Into Weeds channel. She did post the photos that she took and I think some videos too from the show. So glad you went. Glad you enjoyed it. And I guess we got to talk a little bit about SmackDown now.
What happened on the show?
Well, Jey Uso came out and got himself another encore. They clearly don't care about the timing on SmackDown because they have 3 hours to fill. So
yeah, they're like, oh, these shows have been dragging lately. You know what we should do? We should have Jey Uso just do his entrance multiple times. That'll fill half an hour.
Well, they did a good job with it because they did. And he calls out Cody and they do the whole like, I'd love to face you, Uso. And Cody's like, you face me, I'm banged up, but also I'm going to walk out champion and everyone's going to be happy. And out comes the team of Tama Tonga and Jacob Fatu. They set up the
Jersey
Jacob Fatu. Thank you. And that sets up the main event. Main event, really, the big news there was that Solo Sikoa came back, spiked Cody Rhodes at the end. So now we're going back to Solo Sikoa and Cody Rhodes in Toronto. I don't know if that's the match, but that's certainly something they did.
I don't care. I have no interest in a Cody and Solo match again. Cody Rhodes is a solo merchant. It's the only person from the bloodline that he can beat. I know he beat Roman, but that's because he needed 500 people to help him. He's beaten Solo like 15 different times. It's only 3 on television, but if you throw in all the live event stuff, it's like 15 times. I got no interest in this match, just none. Do something else with these guys. You want to give me Cody and Jacob? All right, cool. You want to give me Cody and Tama? Cool. I know it just pinned Tama in the tag team match. I have seen Cody and Solo. I know what Cody and Solo looks like. I don't want to see it anymore. I don't.
It looks like a main event match sandwiched in between 2 chamber matches. I have zero interest in it. My hope is that Solo coming back and being like, I took down the big dog so that they can do something between Solo and Jacob Fatu, reconciling but also being leery of each other because they should both. This is the whole story of we never brought these guys in. Roman with Paul saying we didn't bring these guys in because they were too dangerous. Well, now we get to start telling the story of why the guys who were too dangerous never came in because they were all gunning for top spot, and the guys who were all gunning for top spot working together, inevitably that has to implode. So my hope is not that they do a Cody match. It's more that they tell a story between Solo and Jacob Fatu because Solo walked out on his family essentially, and Fatu picked it up and ran with it and has been running very well with it. So I hope that that's the story, not let's fight in Toronto because That shit would suck. I don't want to watch that match again.
Why don't we get Solo and Jay? Why isn't Solo going after Jay?
Because Jay doesn't hold a championship.
Yeah, but he won the Rumble. He's getting that. If you want to talk about the story aspect of it, Solo wasn't even in the Rumble. Jay has become the family member that Solo, was supposed to be. And Roman is like, you're next up. You're the next tribal chief. Jay has now ascended to that spot. Solo should be a little pissed off about that. And they did the big promo when they were building towards Survivor Series of Jay and Solo, and Jacob was there, and Jay was like, this dude looks at me again wrong, I'm gonna smack him. Like, there's some actual story there with Jay. There's nothing there with Solo and Cody. Nothing that we did not see all throughout last year. At least last year, it set the table for Roman. You don't even have that anymore. I would much rather see Jay and Solo. And I'm not super high on Solo. But at least there's a little bit more meat there. And at least it gives Jay an obstacle in his way. A logical obstacle in his way to WrestleMania. Solo and Cody just feels like, oh, we're filling time until we get to WrestleMania.
Yeah, it does. I like the idea of doing Jay versus Solo. I don't know if I would want to do it for the spot, for the Rumble spot, because I feel like they're just doing the Rumble winner, the title match at Mania. I don't want them to put that on the line. It really feels like it's going to be Jay and Gunther. Just it feels like that's the way they're going. And if that's the case, then now you got to figure out why Solo cares if Jay calls his shot between now and the match. Like, to me, it feels like Jay has to call his shot before the Chamber, because the Chamber match should very much set up which title that guy's getting, because the Rumble winner is supposed to have first pick, right? So for me, you got 2-3 weeks left until you actually tell me who's facing who at WrestleMania. So now we got to see what Solo does. Would Solo and Jay happen on a SmackDown before Elimination Chamber, or do you do the match at the show but then make it just a singles surprise match, or not surprise, a singles specialty match? How would you go about doing that?
You can do it at Chamber, because I think you would want Jay at that show, stadium show, Toronto. You want the visual of the crowd, and you want that vibe, essentially. So I think you could do Jay and Solo at the Chamber. You don't necessarily have to put Jay's WrestleMania title shots on the line. It could kind of be a wink and a nod, because Jay's going to win. So I don't think you're putting Solo over or anything, but it can kind of be like a wink and a nod type thing of, you're the family member that basically took what I was working towards. You're the family member that Roman didn't want. Roman cast you aside. Roman picked me. And here you come taking all these opportunities from me. Again, it doesn't have to be necessarily put your spot on the line. It could just kind of be an implied thing of like, I'm taking your spot. And then if Solo wins, he can make a claim towards the spot. But again, I don't feel Solo's actually going to win. So it's just, you can do it as an implication. Jay wins and you move forward with Jay. It's just, at least that's something different than Cody and Solo. Because what are they going to do with Cody and Solo? Oh, I'm going to take the title that I failed to take all last year. This is wasn't the cage match his last opportunity? Or am I just trying to make this up so I don't have to see this match anymore?
I can't remember, but that's actually a pretty good.
I could have sworn like that was a last opportunity thing for Solo Sikoa.
In the cage.
Yeah, against Cody, the first SmackDown on USA.
Oh my God, was that?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe I'm making that up because I really I'm trying to not see this match again. So I apologize if I'm just throwing that out there. It doesn't look like it. I just tried to Google it, and it doesn't look like that was like his last chance or something. But I tried, everybody.
Sorry.
I tried to make something up so I could, put it out there that, see, you guys said this was Solo's last shot, but apparently they never said that.
This was more presented as like, this is your last chance, more than it was, it's definitively your last chance. Yeah, it was nothing official. Sorry, pal. We tried. The chamber matches, the chamber pay-per-view, PLE, has always, or not always, for the last couple of years, been limited to 4 or 5 matches. So last year it was 4. The year before that was 5.
Every show's limited to 4 or 5 matches.
You're right. But I mean, the Rumble was 4 matches, right? The two Rumble matches, and then you had the tag title match, and you had the undisputed WWE Championship ladder match. Would a match between Jay and Solo? I agree with you. You got to get Jay out there. I agree with that. So my point is, like, would that be the match when you have other titles that you could be putting up? The SmackDown before is in Toronto, so they'll probably load that up and do like a SmackDown tag title match. They'll probably do maybe a US title match defense, women's US championship defense. Actually, maybe not. We'll see. Anyway, point is, like, what can be on the main card and what should be relegated to a SmackDown card the night before?
I think you can do Jay and Solo. I'm just going to assume it's going to be Solo and Cody. That's my assumption.
I think they might just give Cody the night off. Like, night off. In other words, he'll sit at ringside, do the intro, and be there for the world title, for the elimination chamber.
I don't see it. I think Cody wants to wrestle at that venue.
At Rogers Center?
Yeah.
It's just another dome, Jeremy. It's not that big.
I think Cody wants to wrestle there.
Maybe.
So I think Cody will wrestle. Again, I'm going to assume we're getting Cody and Solo. Zeno, I was saying maybe it's a triple threat with Jacob Fatu. At least that's something different. I don't hate that.
That'd be fine.
But then you gotta, I guess that's how you get tension between Jacob and Solo, is they're supposed to work together. And then Jacob is like, why am I helping you? But he's like, I love you, Solo. I love you, Solo. No. But then Jacob accidentally hits Solo, or Solo accidentally hits Jacob, something like that. And Cody, of course, wins. But yeah, I think Cody wants to wrestle at that venue. So I'm sticking with that. So you probably do that match. I think you give Chelsea a match at the pay-per-view instead of SmackDown. I think you do Chelsea, and I don't know if you do Trish.
I was gonna say,
yeah.
Like that. The irony behind it is funny, just because they're both Canadians. It's the U.S. Women's Championship. It's just a funny little segment. Or you set something up between those two, but you definitely. I'd like to see Trish wrestling on that on one of those two shows. She's a draw, and it's her 25th year, so why not? Hashtag thank you, Trish, right?
Yeah, I think you do. If you don't do Chelsea and Trish, you might do Chelsea and Nikki. I think they're going to get to that match too. But I think Chelsea gets a big match for Toronto and for the title. And I would put it on the pay-per-view over the SmackDown before, because I don't have a ton of other stuff going on for that show. And like, I know it's not, who deserves and who earns, but like Chelsea's kind of earned it. Like Chelsea's definitely earned it. So yeah, those would probably be the 4 I go with.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. And tag titles will be a triple threat night before type of thing.
Probably, that's probably a night before match.
Yeah. Could do a 4-way, because Street Profits are doing this new "You've Pissed Us Off," so now we're still tweeners, but we're upset tweeners now, which at least there's something to the Street Profits beyond what they've been presented as for the last 4 years. I'm cautiously optimistic that they're going to put something different behind them, but we'll see where that goes. And then thinking of them, Motor City Machine Guns, DIY, Pretty Deadly. Oh god, maybe they'll do a gauntlet. That'd be fun for DIY. Everyone that hates DIY, they all go after DIY and they announce a gauntlet. Nick Aldis would love that. He would just be like, "Oh, everybody hates you and you keep doing this shit, so here you go. It's going to be the DIY tag team gauntlet." I don't know why he's suddenly Australian, but Nick Aldis is now Australian. Congratulations. I could see them running a gauntlet. That kills an hour on SmackDown. Good tag team gauntlet.
That's possible. Very possible.
I'd like to see it. Drew and LA Knight. Yeah. I was right. I'm just going to say I was right. I sat here and I said, watch, they're going to be putting an Elimination Chamber qualifying match on Friday. Yeah, you added Jimmy Uso into it as well, and gives Jimmy a chance to shine. The promo work was good. LA Knight coming out and doing his "let me get my stuff in" and talking about it's okay to cry, which was fantastic stuff. Drew gets to say, "Hey, I was in a toxic environment on Raw, and now I'm on SmackDown, and now you're gonna be with Jimmy and Jey Uso, and I don't know you differently." Some good stuff. And then, of course, Jimmy Uso got to cut in a promo, and again, solid. He's coming around. He's coming through. And then the match was exactly what it was. Two guys beating the shit out of each other for 5 seconds in the middle of the match. I was like, oh, that's not something that happens.
I like that they played into it. Oh,
Yeah.
All right, let's go out there and fake a fight in the middle of this match because we got real heat, brother. I thought it was good. The promo stuff was fantastic, and like they immediately went to work with it as WWE has shown they are willing to do, and as the wrestlers have shown they're willing to do. All right, yeah, this is some real tension that we had. It was a moment that we had backstage. I was upset about things. Now let's go turn it into compelling television. And that's what they did. I like the little fight that they had, and finish was good. Drew winning the chamber, winning the qualifying match, not super surprising. So overall, I thought it was a strong multiple segments there between the promo and the match.
Yeah, and the finish was really, really well done. Drew hitting the Claymore on LA Knight as he's giving the BFT to Jimmy. A solid finish. Like seeing that stuff. Drew's in the chamber now. Alexa Bliss qualified, beating Candice LeRae. Before that, leading into it, was the Charlotte and Tiffy standoff. This was pretty good. Again, the storytelling is there. They are doing the OG versus facsimile story exactly as we started talking about. And there's something there for Tiffy, Charlotte Flair. What is that?
I think it's a garbage truck. So
is it a vacuum?
No, it's definitely behind the house. I'm pretty sure it's a garbage truck. We've had a lot of ice out here, and they're probably just taking their sweet old time.
My God, the back streets of Ohio.
Nah.
Always good for that. Will Chisholm adding in, still not Nia giving Charlotte a shoot 2-piece.
Oh yeah, that was absolutely hilarious.
Forever the play. That's the first thing I thought of too when they started doing that. I was like, are they trying to do the Charlotte and Nia beatdown thing? Because this rules.
Yeah, and then Charlotte and Nia worked together the week after, and they tried to do the fake shoot fight, which was
that sucked.
But,
that part sucked.
Yeah,
but
the real shoot fight ruled.
But they're back on stage together. They're back working together. Tiffy, Nia, they're going to do that next week for the Women's Championship, and Charlotte Flair is involved as well. So it looks like Charlotte and Tiffy might just be the play, and I would be totally okay with that for WrestleMania. What do you think of the first interaction with Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair?
It was about to be expected. I like Charlotte that she pivoted as well as she could. All right, are you guys gonna boo me or cheer me tonight? Which way are we going? Because no matter what I do, you're going to react. And the whole I live rent free in your head type of thing. But at least they tried to pivot away the best they could. And then Tiffany came out and got a star reaction. And WWE survived without you. We don't need you. And then more people just interrupted.
That's all it goes. It's the parade of champions or the parade of challengers. That's the best part. I'm just checking something. There we go. Yeah, Tiffany and Charlotte looks like a good play. I would enjoy that a lot. Tenor is saying, do you see the new WWE trademark names?
Yeah.
So some of these names are fantastic. I got to pull them up now because I had them open and then I gotten rid of them. But let's take a look. Okay. Have some fun with this. Osiris Griffin. Hayes Jameson, Trill London, not Paul London. He was on the show last week. Trill London, Harley Riggins, Summer Sorrell, Jax Presley. That I feel like that's already existed. Mason Holiday, Masyn. These are the most my baby's name is story ever. This sucks. Draco Knox, no thank you. Tate Wilder, more like Taint Wilder. Braxton Cole, come on, man. Chantel Monroe, Aria Bennett, Hayes Jameson. Oh, and the rest of this chat. Shout out to the bigger picture with Elliot Wilson, DJ Head, and another great Jeremy Hecht. Joel, go to K-Dot at Rogers Center. So this is what I was looking up. If you give me 430 Canadian dollars, I will go to the show. 326 is the cheapest to sit in the very, very, very back of the Rogers Center for K-Dot. I don't think I can afford that.
It's unfortunate.
It is.
Anyway, Hayes Jameson has to be a rib. Has to be. Did they just like Jenna Hayes, Jenna Jameson? What if we take the last name for both of them and make it Hayes Jameson? I feel bad immediately for whoever gets this name. You lost. You have immediately lost when you get this name because everybody is going to make the joke. Everyone. They got to give this name to a guy. They just have to. Because if you give it to a girl, you have just stuck her with the worst optics in the world. It's just going to be nothing but jokes. At least with a guy, people might be a little bit nicer about things. But whichever poor girl is given this name, pardon my pun, she is screwed.
You can say hello to Haley Montoya, who will be portraying the role of Hayes Jameson. She is a volleyball star from Buffalo.
That's who has the name?
That's who has the name on Instagram under Haley.Montoya. Wild Child. Hayes Jameson. Talk of the town.
Well, sorry, Hayes Jameson. Sorry.
Hayes Jameson is Carmelo Hayes' cousin. You can't do it by first names. Doesn't work like that. Oh, I need to know what they were thinking. Maybe they did think that this was going to be like the answer.
So here's the thing. I'm going to try to give WWE a little bit of grace here.
Wow, Jeremy Lambert, WWE lover.
Everyone says you just submit a list of names. Maybe it's possible she submitted Hayes Jameson. And they were just like, all right, you really? This is what you want to go with? And it was on her list of submitted names. And that's what they decided to go with. Because if it was not on her list of submitted names, though, then they've done her a disservice. And they've put her in a very bad spot.
Yeah, this is definitely... I'm trying to see if any of these other names pop up with their performers with them, like Draco Knox, for example. I gotta weave through everyone else's stuff. Everyone else's, reports.
Draco Knox is a member of the Migos, I'm pretty sure.
I was going to say, there are other Knoxes that I don't want to know about in wrestling. How about Chantel Monroe? We're just going to take a look at these. A couple more names. See if any of these people pop up with their IG handles. What? That's the one that caught you, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right. No one else is really popping up here. I'm just like, who is Jack? Jax Presley exists. If I search Jax Presley, it's going to be someone's Facebook profile photo. Like it just is. Kyle Klink is Jax Presley.
Sure.
He is the space cowboy. He's sure. He's doing some call me the gangster of love. He's trying to do the thing. He's a footballer, of course. Football player from Michigan. Michigan? Looks like Michigan. Those are Michigan colors. Oh boy. Oh no, for McNeese. Go. Oh, okay. McNeese football. From Louisiana.
Okay.
There you go. Have fun with some of those. Y'all can go.
Trill London is a fantastic name.
Why didn't he give himself Colonel Klink? Why wouldn't Colonel Klink would have been perfect? The time is could have done it. Colonel Klink.
I like Trill London. I look forward to old Trill dropping in there. They're gonna put Trill and Draco together.
So Trill London is Trill Williams,
Okay.
who is a former footballer.
Yeah, you can do Trill Williams and Trick Williams.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was always screwed with his last name.
Yeah. So yeah, he's calling himself the Prince of Darkness.
Yeah.
So there you go. There's your Trill Williams.
I feel like Ozzy's got a trademark on that.
This you can find at the Friday. Wednesday's episode last week. We talked about this.
Yes.
Don't do Colonel Clink. I was thinking of the character from the show. Who is Osiris Griffin? This is my last one. I promise this is the last one.
Well, he can't be Trill Williams with Trick Williams. It just nah. I mean, I like the idea of Trick and Trill, but that wasn't gonna work. So Trill London is fine.
I think Osiris Griffin is just his real name.
Ah, good on him.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I don't know.
Hayes Jameson.
Hayes
What
Jameson.
What are we doing?
Gotta talk to Harley Montoya. Haley Montoya.
I want to know if she picked her name.
I don't know.
I'm gonna message her. Hey,
could you on the air?
Did you pick this name? I'll do it on the air. I don't
All right,
care.
Let's go. Let's go.
Wasn't it Haley Montoya, right?
I think it's Haley.Montoya.
Hold on.
Yeah, Haley.Montoya.
Oh, okay. Why can't I?
Why? Hayley.
All right, I found it. No, that's not her. It's
that's her. Look at the thing.
But she has another one too.
Does she?
Yeah. So you say it's Haley Montoya?
Yeah, the Wild Child one. Do I have to DM it to you? I'll DM you the link.
Okay. On Instagram?
Yeah, on Instagram.
Oh, Instagram. Yeah. I was on Twitter. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you got to be on Instagram.
Yeah, it's Haley Montoya 1 on Twitter, but she hasn't tweeted in forever. So
yeah, because you got to wait for her thing. You know, her.
Okay. Yeah. I got her. Okay.
Yeah, her Hayes Jameson.
Yeah. All right.
I get it. This is great content. I understand that, chat. Thank you. Trill and Paul London should absolutely be a tag team. That's it right there. The Princes of Darkness.
I don't think they could use Prince of Darkness.
Well, he's calling himself that, so have fun with it.
I feel like that's they got the trademark on that.
You talked about Volib Super Chat, but did you bring it up?
What?
Volib Super Chat, these names either have no effort or generated by a name generator or definitely something the wrestlers themselves came up with, no in between. I feel like those are the only 3 options you can have here. Like there's no in between of these.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna
So-
message Haley Montoya.
God bless.
I don't like that it's like a DM because I feel weird.
Weird.
The DM. Hello.
Send her a video. Send her a reel. This should be one of our shorts.
This is terrible. All right.
Hi, Haley. My name is Haley, and I'm a writer with Fightful.com.
Yeah, I'm doing important research here.
We've noticed. How did you come up with your name? And does it have anything to do with the porn stars?
I'm not putting that. I'm just saying I was just wondering if you picked your name or if it was assigned by WWE. Thanks. All right, I've sent this message.
Drake Knox is the long lost brother of Becky Lynch. Oh God.
All right. Awful.
We're gonna get to the other super chat. We're gonna talk about AEW in a few minutes. Jess Ricardo sending him one saying, "Good morning, gentlemen. What's up, chat? What's up to you?
What up, Jess Ricardo?
Gonna see what else is happening here. Oh my gosh, you didn't know Def Rebel was naming the wrestlers too. It's their new AI venture called Def Wrestling.
Terrible.
Yep. Oh, send her the link.
Should. Like, hey, you just want to join this show? Like, what's up?
Oh,
I don't want to get her in trouble before she
gonna
like
say,
actually
look,
does
yeah.
anything.
exactly. Look, I don't want any of these talents to get in trouble, especially because WWE is very they're very straightforward with what they expect from their talent and how they do things. So
Yeah.
wouldn't want to get them in trouble for just wanting to have.
We
some
saw you appeared on this Fightful show that
with a guy that we used to credit for media, but won't do this time. I had to message them about it. They haven't sent me accreditation, but I think that's like I said, I think it's because Sean's coming. So I just had to email them and be like, hey, I know I applied on the last day, but am I coming to your show or not?
They're gonna say no.
They'll either say no or they'll be like, we like your moxie and you're right, so come to the show.
I hope they don't credit you. I hope they.
We like you. You're just like Drew McIntyre. You're always trying your hardest and doing your best. Here's 2 free passes, but there are 5 of us. Here are 2 free passes. That's better. Yeah, ITW is the only place where you get the inner workings of the wrestling journals.
It's just me messaging people on air.
Just DM the talent.
Not doing tough work out here.
Oh man. All right. Is there anything else from SmackDown that we had to talk about?
No. Stop releasing people during shows.
I agree. If we can, let's not do it. I'm also surprised Sean didn't pop in during this segment.
He usually isn't in on the Monday show. He sleeps in a little. I know he's awake. But...
Allegedly, he watches our show now. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
That's very unfortunate news.
He's gonna cancel us after this.
That's fine. Wouldn't be the first time we've been threatened. Senru's asking, switch to who joins Deonna and Taya? Maybe Giselle or Saraya? I know it's Saraya, but I just like that I'm just trying to
rhyme.
I just wanted to rhyme these names.
Yeah.
Saraya is under contract till September, so if they want to keep her and she wants to stick around, this is one way to have her, at least for the next 7 months, do something. And Giselle Shaw coming in, I think Giselle's going to be working with Maple Leaf Pro at least for the next little bit, but doesn't mean she can't do anything with ROH or AEW. It's just she's not the first name I go to when it comes to bringing someone in to join this group. I'd rather, honestly, it just be someone already under contract to AEW and in the women's division. Who could that be? Is there a name that comes to your mind first, or that you would think would fit with Deonna and Taya?
I'm also of agreement that it should just be someone on the roster. As far as who that is,
Penelope Ford. Half joking, but I think it might work.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind Penelope Ford. The thing is like I was thinking of maybe like Anna Jay, but one, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense because Anna Jay was feuding with Deonna. And I think Deonna still has to be sort of the top presence in the group. And I don't know if she is, if you bring in Anna Jay. That feels too much like you're battling against each other. Same thing with Megan Bayne. Is Megan Bayne would feel like the top presence. So you kind of got to go someone who feels, and I say this nicely, a little below Deonna, so she can still be the top kind of presence. I think Ty Mello could work. You know, Ty Mello's got, she'd been off for a while, but she at least returned in Stardom. She hasn't been on AEW TV in forever because fortunately she's healthy after delivering a baby and then got cleared to return and everything. But I think Ty Mello has a good presence that won't feel like she comes off as bigger than Deonna, because I think Deonna's got to be the top between whoever comes in, because she's greater than Taya Valkyrie right now. Deonna ain't, based on the way she's been booked and everything, ain't like she's super high up the food chain, but she should be. She should feel like a bigger deal. And that's why I don't want her to be like Athena, because Athena comes in and she should feel like the top of the food chain over Deonna. That's my concern if it's someone like Megan Bayne. I think Ty Mello is a good spot of, she works hard, she's good, she can fit into the group, but she won't fully overshadow Deonna. She'll add instead of overshadow.
Yeah, I think Ty Mello is a good shout. I'm still with Penelope Ford. I think that's
also not bad.
The fit also works geographically speaking because Penelope is from the Pennsylvania area-ish. So if they're doing the whole like Italian mobster gimmick, she'll get it when Deanna is doing it too, and she's New Jersey. I know that Taya is right now she's LA, but she's like from Vancouver. I'm sure there's mob in Toronto and Montreal and maybe in Vancouver, so it would fit. But yeah, I think Penelope Ford would be a good fit because much like Ty, she's not overshadowing on any way. Like, she's not taller than them, she's not more of a star than anyone. She fits with the aesthetic of the group. She already wears the furry jacket, so I think that the aesthetic would work if they paired those three up. And Penelope Ford, she's very much working heel. She had the match against Thunder Rosa. She lost, but then once Megan Bayne got involved after the match, she went after Thunder Rosa and then just kind of had no allegiance, left the ring, and that was it for Penelope Ford. Maybe she's looking for a friend or two. I wouldn't team up Penelope Ford and Megan Bayne, though. It feels like Megan needs to stand on her own.
Yeah. I wouldn't bring in Megan to this group because Megan's going to overshadow. And I mean, look, if that's the point, if you are trying to bring in someone to elevate them above Deanna and Taya, then sure, Megan actually makes a lot of sense. But Megan, she had the confrontation with Thunder Rosa on Collision, so that's a potential feud right there. You don't need to go back to the Deanna Thunder Rosa stuff. Like, we did that all of last year. We don't need to revisit that. So I just let Megan stand on her own and bring in someone else too. Deanna and Taya. The other thing is, I don't know how much they're really going to invest in this. And I don't want to say that super dismissive because, as everyone knows, we really like Deanna. First guest ever on In the Weeds. But this was a digital exclusive thing. This didn't even air on Collision. So I don't know how much they're really putting into this. And every time they are on television, Deanna typically loses or Taya loses. They're love Harley Cameron. She's been fantastic performer. They used Taya to give Harley Cameron her first win, which is completely fine, but I think that just shows where they're kind of putting the vendetta. I just don't know if they have too much stock in them right now. If you add somebody else to the group, hopefully that means good things, but I'm not going to be like, oh, well, if they add Ty Mello, this means they're going to get more television time. I just don't know if that's the case. On Collision right now, they're doing stuff. And look, Collision was great. They set up a lot of good stuff. But, they actually put the women's title on Collision, which they've been doing, by the way. I don't want to make it seem like, oh, they finally did it. Like, they've been doing. But, the women's title stuff was on Collision. The TBS title stuff was on Collision. And Thunder Rosa and Megan Bayne were all on Collision. They're investing in 3 women's stories, which is good already on Collision. And then Dynamite is kind of taking a backseat to some of the women's stuff. It seems like they're putting more stock into the men's stuff on Dynamite. So I just don't know how much they're going to put into this vendetta group.
Yeah, I don't know either. And it's been something that we want to see. Again, you mentioned Deanna being the first guest ever on our show. Yeah, I would love to see her succeed. We're rooting for her and a lot of good talent that we've had on the show, but there's room for them. We just don't know where the action lies for the vendetta. But if they add a third, sure, as long as it's someone who's gonna make the trio stronger and not just there. They have to be featured. But yeah, Collision was a good show. Tenruza sent a super chat saying Collision was the best show of the week. I thought it was strong. I thought there was a lot of really good stuff on the show. I really enjoyed watching it this week. I didn't, it didn't feel like I had to slog through it. They planted seeds, like you mentioned. They
what
started.
What you hate though, Joel? Just get to what you hated.
It's not what I hated, but the things that I always love to point out. The Roosh ref spot was completely silly and why would you do it?
Oh, that rolled.
That whole segment was just convoluted because it's like they did the hollow leap and then they took forever to bring Hologram out, and then he comes out, he does all the stuff, which is great. It's good to see Hologram back and healthy, and they're doing it. Commander comes out and everyone's like, is he still the ROH television champion? Because He didn't bring the belt out. I don't know what's going on there. But get to the point, Joel. Everything sucks. No, the stuff with hologram was fine, and then all of a sudden Roosh has a chair and they're just like, no, don't use the chair, and everyone's already left the ring, and for some reason there's 3 referees in Roosh, so Roosh just pushes and pie faces a referee.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Why is this his way of trying to get out of his contract? Like they're gonna write him off as suspended indefinitely? It was very strange. I didn't like
that ruled, because Roosh, instead of fighting with Hologram and Commander, he's like, yeah, you guys go fight them. I'm gonna beat up these
referees.
refs. Yeah, that was great.
Oh God. Max Caster lost his place in the middle of his promo, which was very funny and very obvious. At one point when Alicia he says her name, he's like, I remember your name. And then he just has to repeat himself over and over again as if he's trying to recapture where he was in his promo. Go back and watch it. And you just be like, why is he's in like a boot loop, and all of a sudden he comes out of it and he finishes the promo. I thought that was very funny. Trios titles are back. That's nice. My only pushback is, why are they doing the match on Dynamite and not in Grand Slam? No, why don't they do it in Australia between the Death Riders and Cole O'Reilly and Roderick Strong? That's the way I would have done it, but that's just me. That's again nitpicky. But I like
doing the tag team match in.
Oh, that's
Australia.
right. They're doing the Brisbane Brawl. Yeah, they should have done it differently. I don't like that. Should have just done the tag title. Make them work twice. Make Brisbane really enjoy their nights. But Cole and Garcia, they're planting seeds for that TNT title match. I was a fan of that because Cole got the win, stared right at Garcia, and was like, no, this might make me next in line. So it's good. Yes, but also no. Now that this has become a bit, I kind of have to, but I'm never going to shit on it in a way that takes away from the actual show. Because again, a lot of really good stuff happened. You want to hear the Harley Cameron? You want to hear the Harley Cameron problems from that promo?
If you hated this Harley Cameron segment, I'm going to fire you.
I'm actually going to take issue with the production on this one. Okay. Mitchell guitars. She was playing a Mitchell guitar. First of all, those guitars suck. They're like, at the best, they're $50. They go out of tune like that, and you can hear how out of tune that guitar goes. And I'm like, oh, maybe they bought a cheap guitar because someone's gonna use it. No, nobody used the damn guitar. Jeff Jarrett was in the back going, if any of you use my guitar, I'm going to sue. And so instead they didn't do it. They just had Harley do the thing. And the promo was good. Like the segment was good. If you're gonna get the guitar and you set up 2 microphones because you can't get an acoustic electric guitar, like who is backstage working on your production that you can't figure out? You get an acoustic guitar, acoustic electric guitar. You put it through a DI, you run it through the board, and you run it through the set. Like, it's not a difficult thing to do, but for some reason, they didn't do it. And that sounded awful. And then it went out of tune. Get an acoustic electric. You'll be fine. That's my problem. Everyone's like, who cares? Harley Cameron, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. But it's not fine because she didn't use the guitar, and the guitar sucked, and it went out of tune, and it took away from everything for me, the music guy. But hire me for sound work, TK. That's really what I'm getting at here. Let me be your sound engineer. What else? What if
Mercedes
played the guitar?
Distuned the guitar to sabotage Harley Cameron.
It would have been detuned, first of all. Second of all, the guitar was distuned. You said
I'm sticking with distuned.
That's what I sounded like when she started playing it. No, it was in tune for the first note. And then listen, I get it. I've been there. You strum really hard because you got all that excitement in you and you want to play hard. And if you play too hard, your strings go out of tune immediately. That happens. You just need to chill. Get a guitar that stays in tune when you're rough on it. $50 guitars are shit.
How dare you?
Distuned. If you bring out a mascot for your match, use the damn mascot.
Yeah, that was weird. I was like, what the hell is this thing doing here?
I get it. It's because of where they were. Like they wanted to do something local. I get that. I'm never going to take away from like trying to get the local hometown pop and Thunder Rosa's from Texas. So like it makes sense on like that very simple level. But I thought
it was Benny the Bull at first. I was like, what the hell's the Bulls mascot doing here?
It was whatever venue they were at. It was their mascot locally. They were cheering for Toro instead of Thunder Rosa. And I was waiting for, the only problem was that with this whole setup, the only person who could have been under that mask was Megan Bain, but you cannot do that to Megan Bain.
You can't do that to Megan Bain.
Just like in the whole story that they're doing, it would have been very funny. But no, instead, if you bring in a mascot, you got to do something with the mascot. Even if someone takes off the mask, I don't care. Just something should have happened. Otherwise, Thunder Rosa and Penelope had a good match, setting up Megan Bain versus Thunder Rosa next. There's some stuff again.
Megan Bain should have punted this mascot.
That would have been fine if the mascot stood up to her at the beginning when she's walking down the aisle and she just went boom lariat. Would have been perfectly.
No,
okay.
it's when she confronted Thunder Rosa, like the mascot should have been in the ring, like celebrating Thunder Rosa's win with Thunder Rosa, and then Megan Bain comes in and confronts, and then Megan Bain just boots that little dipshit mascot.
My God, Joey Janela's the mascot. Oh, that would have been fantastic. It's the Swerve and Bun V. This is actually praise because I thought it was hilarious. For those who know, he did the Pulp Fiction thing where he takes a bite. He's like, I want to take a bite of this tasty burger, and he was doing his best Pulp Fiction reference there, and then he spat it out. I'm shocked that Rick didn't ask for some Sprite after that, some delicious Sprite, because that's, again, if you watch the movie, it's the next thing you do. They showed the Ricochet and Swerve spot from Defy, which is good. But yeah, again, Luther's back. Not going to say a bad thing about that. Rules. Deathmatch King.
Butler legend Luther.
That's right. And he brings the shoe. This was interesting to me. Still no music for Toni Storm. They're really, really trying to play out that the first time she gets played out will either be new music or she'll be back to the original and people will pop for that. I've just noticed that ever since the reveal, it's been no music for Toni, just presentation, character, that's it.
Well, they haven't had a chance to do.
They just did this week.
When? Like after the segment, you would play the music? Yeah. She didn't wrestle.
No, she did. Or even after the soliloquy the other week where she did the lights on and lights off. They could have played the music.
Nah, I didn't feel like you need to play the music there. She hasn't wrestled as Timeless Toni Storm yet.
Yes, she did. Oh, no, she did as the Glamour. You're right. Sorry, I was thinking since she became Timeless Toni Storm. You're right, but she still presented as Timeless Toni Storm twice in front of the crowd, and typically you play some music to get the crowd. You know, it's a moving point.
Soliloquy, you didn't need to do the music because she just came out and she just did her monologue, and you know, she had the lights on her and everything. So you didn't need the music there. I didn't feel you needed to like really play the music here. Let the moment live for itself as Luther and Toni Storm celebrate, because I like the way they pulled off the switch instead of, you know, it would have been it would have been how they would typically do it is, you know, maybe the opponent was actually Toni Storm under a mask or something like that. But like the little switch was very fun. And then they didn't need to play the music here though. I think you'll get the Timeless music at Grand Slam and you'll get a big pop for that.
But I think that's what they're kind of doing. That's why they're not playing it. Like, I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It's just something that I've noticed is that they're still not playing her music because they want the first time with the music to be a big moment. So, like, again, these are little things that I'm noticing that I give kudos to. It's not taking away from the enjoyment. It's just little things that I think enhance the character and the story in a little bit of way. Just Ricardo sending a super chat saying, if I was Janela, I'd leave my jeans 2 centimeters from the hamper. Jesus Christ.
Henry, I've said this before, but I'll repeat it for people who didn't see it. Look, they've done a great follow-up with the reveal and her being back to Timeless. Credit to him. You know, I was concerned that it may have been too early, and I was concerned that she played her hand too early, and why would Mariah May care? Mariah May didn't care in that first promo. She was like, I have defeated Toni Storm. Why do I care that you were Timeless again? And now they've given you a reason to care about this stuff. Like, coming out as the Glamour was great. Bringing back Luther was great. Doing the switch on Saturday was great. They've had a really strong follow-up to the return of Timeless Toni Storm. I don't think my concerns were wrong. Maybe I should have just let it play out, but you know, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, they still did it too early. Why didn't they do this, this, and this? No, they've done a great job. It's been a great angle, much like it was all of last year. Toni Storm continues to be the most consistent female performer on the show.
Shit. I've got to go to Northern Crown again.
Why?
They just announced Macklin's working the show, and he's going for the Northern Crown Championship.
So why does that mean you have to go?
It means I gotta go. It means I gotta go. Someone's gotta yell at Steve Macklin.
Okay.
So I gotta go do that. Go to Northern Crown, and our pals will be there. The Garbage Daddies will be there.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Well, they rule, so it's fine.
Debatable.
It's all right. Is there anything else on the show that you really want to touch on from a pretty solid episode of Collision? Moxley just hates Copeland, and that's why he won't give him a title shot.
Yeah, that rolled.
Like, I just don't like you, and it's like, I can understand that. Yeah,
yeah. I was like, this man is speaking to me. I'm all about John Moxley. Yeah, don't give him a title shot, John. Don't do any of that. Just let him go elsewhere. Let him do other things. Defend the title against people who've earned it. Who is Cope beaten?
Nobody. That's the point. He's gonna pin John Moxley in Australia. That's gonna get him the match at Revolution, and he's gonna lose that match. And here we go again. Hey, what did I tell you? Another month. Another FTR wants the tag titles package.
Yeah, you know it's coming.
It's just very funny. This is like, we're top guys. I'm like, yeah, but you haven't been in like months. What are we doing?
They won the they won the I forgot.
Yeah,
the
so
match.
did they. What are we doing here?
The South End Street Fight or whatever they call it.
Oh, the Mid-South Street Fight.
Yeah, Mid-South Street Fights.
Yeah, the one that was contested inside of Dennis Condrey, right?
It was contested at the south end of the arena. That's why I called it the South End Street Fight. Yeah, they won that thing, so they're fine.
Yeah,
get the titles, but
give them all of it. Yeah, that's fine.
That's fine.
Yeah, I think Kyle Fletcher had a match. There you go.
It was a good match.
It was a good match. Again, nobody has ever said that like Kyle Fletcher and Mark Briscoe don't individually and together have good matches. It was, a good main event match. Kyle Fletcher looked good. Mark Briscoe looks good, and that's it. He won. I'm going to be the guy.
Utilize Mark Briscoe more.
I mean, I think they do. I don't know if you mean like in a more prominent title feud role, but I think that I think right now they're using the best of Mark Briscoe that they can until a lane opens up for him to go for a title in a meaningful way. Because right now, I don't know if there's anyone that he would meaningfully go after who holds a title.
Okada.
Meh.
He should beat Okada.
He could. I mean, listen, if Buddy beats Okada in Australia,
Buddy's not beating Okada.
I don't think so either. But if they did that, then Mark Briscoe and Buddy Matthews could have some fun. But I don't think Okada and Mark Briscoe is like lighting rooms on fire. I don't think it's that great.
It is for me.
Oh, that's fine. That's just you though. But like I said, I think Mark Briscoe.
What is Buddy Matthews and Okada? How's that any bigger than Mark Briscoe?
It's a bitch off. It's great, and not an Eric bitch off. It's a bitch off, and that's the best part. No, this one was obvious. They were going to Australia. Yeah. They needed a guy. They had Buddies from Australia. Like, it was, let's get Buddy on the card. It's a big match. Buddy's won titles in Australia before. Remember, they did the cruiserweight match, and he won that in 2018. That was a big moment. So like they're playing off of that stuff. It only makes sense for the geographical convenience. Meanwhile, Mark Briscoe, like, I want him to be in a meaningful story before he goes for a title like that.
Well, sure.
Or any story for that matter.
Sure. I think you can build to Mark Briscoe defeating the Okada. I'm tired of every Okada story being like, now we're going to get the G1 Okada. Now we're going to get the Rainmaker Okada. It's like, okay. Everyone says this. He has good matches. The match is never the issue. It's like, that's every build for him. Yeah. Now we're going to get the Rainmaker. All right.
And then he wins and he calls you a bitch, and that's it. That's the way it should go. Oh man. Anyway, that's all I got from Collision.
I don't think Buddy's going to win the title because I think Harley's not going to win. Although I wouldn't be mad at it. I wouldn't be mad if they just went ahead and put the title on Harley. Me, the guy who complained she didn't win enough to get a title shot, but she won one match. That's okay. Got the match, got a victory, got her title match. Wouldn't be mad if they put the title on her, but I don't think she's going to win. I think it'll be a great match though. Buddy's probably not going to win. I do think Tony Storm wins. I think that's the Australian moment. I think Kyle Fletcher wins too. I think Kyle Fletcher pins Omega. That's my guess.
I still don't love the idea of Tony Storm winning the match in Australia.
Why?
Like this? I don't know. The Revolution being in LA and doing the timeless callback and all that. I know that there's stuff you can do from there, but to me, I always just love the idea. I'm still attached to it of having done the reveal at Grand Slam and then do the match again.
Yeah, but we're past that though.
I know that, but I'm still
done the reveal.
No, I know, but I'm still hung up on it.
Okay, but stop.
But AEW bad. Remember, that's what we got.
You got to stop being hung up on it. They did the reveal.
No.
Because Tony losing here doesn't exactly build towards a rematch. Like, she would have lost twice to Mariah May. Why are you going to go back and do that again at Revolution?
Because you don't have Mariah win per se. You have her beat her down so badly that they got either disqualification or double or like a no contest, something that leads to Timeless Tony Storm having done the reveal there.
But they already did the reveal, Joel.
I know what they did. I get what they did. And I understand what's happening.
You're rebooking things.
I am rebooking it because that's what we do sometimes. We rebook it.
No, we don't.
Oh, what? We can't be like Matthew Raywalt's Piddly podcast? Can't rebook it like everyone else?
I don't listen to that. No, I'm not going to rebook things. They did what they did. So now
call it back. Come out.
We can book things moving forward.
No.
And booking things moving forward would be if Mariah May wins. I don't know why you would do a third match when she's 2-0 at Revolution. If Tony Storm wins, you can do a rubber match at Revolution. If that's where they decide to go, maybe they'll have a different challenger for Revolution. She's timeless Tony Storm. You're not going to rebook it. Stop it.
No, we're going to rebook it. She's just going to come out in Australia as Tony Storm. And it's all going to be back to where it started. That's the way it goes.
Use the hashtag Joel is wrong, everybody.
Stop it.
This is terrible. Terrible rebooking stuff.
Oh, all you got to do is just call it all back. Come on, wrestling fans don't remember anything.
What?
Nobody's watching wrestling. It's fine. Remember AEW in the mud? We're going to rebook everything. Fix it up. That's how it goes, right? Right? I don't know. Maybe just have her beat up some referees or something. WWE RAW is tonight. Live from Nashville, Tennessee. Jeff Jarrett won't be there. But you know who will be? CM Punk. He's going to talk about his Elimination Chamber qualification.
Well,
AJ
Styles
first,
he's going to be like, how does it feel to be alive in Nashville?
He's going to call it Smashville because he's a big old Nashville Predators fan this week. He's going to talk about, is he going to make a reference to one Nashville Predators player, the only one he knows?
Who do you think he knows?
That's a good question. Who do I think?
Stamkos? Steven Stamkos? Yeah.
Who used to play for them from Montreal? Come on.
Elite Forsberg?
No, he'll make a PK Subban reference.
PK Subban?
Yeah, he'll make a PK reference.
Oh, did the Blackhawks recently beat the Predators? All right, yeah, he'll reference that. He's like, you guys suck so bad, the Blackhawks beat you. The Preds are super disappointing this year. Like, they got Stamkos. Everyone was like, oh, they're a playoff threat. And, like, they suck.
They do. Was this Saturday night? There were a lot of games on Saturday. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, because it's the Four Nations break right now.
Yeah, but there was Blackhawks and Blues. I don't think there's been. When was that game? Oh, are you talking playoffs? Oh, Saturday was 5. No, it wasn't. Saturday.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm looking at games on Saturday. The Blackhawks beat the Blues in a shootout.
Allegedly.
No,
they beat the Preds lost to Chicago on. Why can't I just find a date here? February 7th, whatever day that is.
That's Friday.
Okay, so Friday.
Yeah, there you go. So it's not Saturday. It was Friday. Yeah,
6-2. Jeez.
Yeah. Preds had
the Preds had lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight until they beat Buffalo. Yeah, that team's not very good, man.
I mean, meanwhile, the Sens were on a tear until I started paying attention to them. Now they're 0-3 going into this League of Nations break.
Okay.
What is this tournament? This sucks.
It's the
Supposed to
Four
be-
Nations. It's not the League of Nations.
It's the League of Nations because it sucks.
It starts on Wednesday. It's up against Dynamite. That's what Punk should do. Punk should come out and be like, there's some great programming. Wednesday, 8 o'clock on Max. The Four Nations tournament. That'd be great. TNT, Wednesday, tune in. Tune into the Four Nations tournament. Canada plays Sweden. Nothing else going on Wednesday at 8. Oh, Punk promotes the Four Nations tonight.
He should promote that and be like, and by the way, catch WWE Evolve starting March whatever and Wednesdays. Oh God, I'm not watching the Four Nations tournament.
No, I'll watch it. I want to watch I guess I'll root for USA. I don't have like a ton of like national pride when it comes to
I can see that.
to that kind of stuff. But I want to see McKinnon. I root for the guys who play on my team. That's who I'm kind of rooting for. So I want to see McKinnon and McCarr. They play for Team Canada. So if they do well, cool. And if USA wins, cool. But what?
The Swedes are gonna win.
Maybe it's a farce tournament though, because you're not including Russia. Like some of the top players are from Russia. Like Ovechkin is not going to be part of this thing. It's
all shit. It's all garbage.
It's dumb.
Man.
It's just it's a money grab. So whatever. But I'll watch. I like watching hockey, so I'll watch it. And it's the NBA is at an All-Star break, so they ain't got nothing going on. Because I don't care. I definitely don't care about the NBA All-Star game. At least the players are going to take some pride in this. Unlike the NBA All-Star game, where they don't care at all. The actual NHL players are really amped up for this, so at least they'll take some pride in it, and it'll be semi-competitive.
I'm more upset at the fact that I can't get a $4 teen burger from A&W over the next 2 weeks because of this stupid League of Nations gimmick. Sucks. AJ Styles is also going to be on the show. You think he's going to be confused as to where he is because it's Nashville and not Georgia, but all the southern accents sound the same?
No, he's going to reference TNA. He's like, I had a lot of great moments in this town.
My girl Dixie's up there. Yeah.
Oh, you think Dixie Carter's going to be at the show?
She's going to be backstage. I think we should interview Dixie Carter. Been saying that for years.
Oh, man, that would be great.
Should be
Love
one
to
of
get Dixie Carter on the show.
Damage Control. Dakota Kai and Io Sky are going to take on Raquel Rodriguez and Liv Morgan. Good to see Dakota Kai back in the ring. She's been cleared, so that's fun.
Yep.
And then Elimination Chamber qualifying matches on the men's side: Rey Mysterio versus Logan Paul. And on the women's side, Bayley takes on Lyra Valkyria, who I really wish would put up her Intercontinental Championship just once. End the sentence.
I think Logan wins, and I wouldn't beat the Intercontinental Champion, but Bayley just keeps taking a bunch of L's, and she's got an NXT title match this weekend. Strange pairing here because, hey, you're either going to beat your women's Intercontinental Champion or you're going to beat the person who's challenging for the NXT title, who's, again, taken a bunch of L's lately. Maybe Roxanne cost Bayley the match, and then Bayley returns the favor and costs Roxanne in a couple of weeks. I don't love that. I probably wouldn't have booked this match, honestly. I would have found a different way and given... If Bayley's not going to be in it, I probably wouldn't have even put her in the qualifying matches, and then I would just had Roxanne or Lyra beat somebody else who doesn't have an NXT women's title match this weekend.
It's funny because in a few weeks, just zeroing on this, you could have done next Monday Bayley versus Roxanne as a qualifier because they both would have been coming out of they both would have been coming out of a loss from the triple threat of Vengeance Day. But I don't think people are going to be paying as much attention. So at least you would have gotten past the Vengeance Day stuff. However, it's like if Bayley costs Roxanne her match afterwards because Roxanne cost Bayley this week, it's still a little backwards given what's going on in NXT. It's just, it's a little much. But I guess we'll have to see what happens with this match because it's possible that Bayley gets in and it's possible that after that Roxanne gets in and we're just going to renew the rivalry, and it sucks pinning Lyra Valkyria out of that. But that's just something that they got to deal with because I don't like pinning the champions as much as you do.
They should not. What the hell happened to my voice there?
You were very full of piss and vinegar on that one.
Yeah. Kim Bruno saying, could you have Roxanne attack Lyra to DQ her? No, they just did that finish last week. Like, it wasn't an outright attack with Rhea. I guess it kind of was. She pulled her hair and then she attacked her. But don't do another dumbass DQ finish on this show. I just don't love the idea of Lyra losing her first match since winning the title. That's just stupid. Why put the title on her if you're going to have her lose her first match? So I think Lyra wins. Roxanne probably costs Bayley is how it goes. I wouldn't do a DQ finish, but you probably got to protect Bayley because she's taken a bunch of L's and she hasn't been super protected on those losses either. Like, she had the confrontations with Roxanne at ringside, but Roxanne didn't outright interfere in those matches against Tiffany and Nia. She just lost those matches. So Bayley probably takes another L, and I assume Roxanne gets involved. If they beat Lyra, it just shows to me they don't actually have plans for this title.
There's a larger story at hand with Bayley because she's been, she's been losing a lot, like you mentioned. She won the tag match, but she's singles hasn't been doing much. If she continues to lose, and they keep telling the story, she's like the elder stateswoman. She's won all these championships, and now the newcomer is going after her. So instead, you can have Roxanne basically get Bayley's goad the entire way. Bayley keeps losing. They do a match, maybe at WrestleMania or somewhere for stakes, where Bayley finally gets her win back after Roxanne has been, just that heel, and then the heel loses, gets her, Bayley gets her comeuppance. She gets the big win at WrestleMania. I don't know if that's the way they want to go, but they're definitely telling you that like Bayley is a legend that's currently active. They're really trying to push that. So I wouldn't be surprised if they try to do a Bayley's having a crisis of confidence, and her big win against Roxanne could be the beginning of her reascent or just confidence restored. Or Roxanne beats her and Bayley's like, oh shit, I got to go somewhere else. And she goes to TNA for 6 months. Let's go. Come on. Bayley and TNA?
No. That's not going to happen.
I know.
Now she wants to text Triple H of like, let me go do it and all this stuff. Like,
we need you here. They're not going to San Jose anytime soon, but we'll keep you in mind because next time they need some bodies, we can probably send you.
I think you'll get
great.
They're in Full Sail in a couple of weeks next week, right? Like
10 days from now on the 20th.
So yeah, next week. That's what I said.
Yeah, it's next Thursday.
Yeah, next
still
week.
10 days away. Yeah,
okay. I was still
a
correct.
week is 7 days. Yeah, this is just like my Drew LA Knight thing.
Anyway, they're in Florida. They're in Orlando next week. That Full Sail. Imagine you'll get a pretty heavy crossover on them.
Yeah, you get Cora Jade, Wes Lee, JDC, TNB. I love the idea of Bayley showing up. BFAB should show up and be like, it's now TNB, and the B stands for BFAB. But I think the Bayley story will be a crisis of confidence, and we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah.
Anything else from this weekend to plug or talk about or get out there? Almost 10,000 people watching us cross-platform.
Yeah, what the hell?
Sean retweeted stuff. It's fine.
Oh, that's fine. Oh, good for him.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it. No, tomorrow, SB3 and I will be talking about New Japan because there is a New Japan show very late tonight. I'm not watching it tonight. I'll get up in the morning and watch it. So SB3 and I will be talking about New Beginning in Osaka and new IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Hiroki Goto. Calling it now.
Good for you.
Goto gets it done, baby. Yeah. So that's the big lead for tomorrow's show. Make Joel get up early to make a Hiroki Goto thumbnail.
No, thank you. I'm just going to use a render of Hiroki Goto.
Cowardly. So SB3 and I will be talking about that. We're scheduled to be joined by more guests tomorrow. Again, don't want to say who because I'm afraid that they're not going to show up, but scheduled to be joined by more guests tomorrow.
Looking forward to that. SB3 and Jeremy hold it down Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tomorrow is Tuesday, so come back 10 a.m. Eastern. Allegedly. Do the thing. Allegedly. I'll be back on Wednesday. Allegedly. We'll see what happens. See if I feel like coming to work. But I do the thumbnail.
Show Joel over here.
No show Joel if you're not careful, buddy. That's not a threat. That's a promise.
Is it? Is it a
it's
promise?
not. No, it's really not.
Okay.
All right. Shall we get out of here?
Everyone, enjoy your Monday. Watch Raw. Don't watch Raw. I don't care.
Don't care. Watch a
can
New
watch
Japan show tonight. Don't watch it. We don't care. Watch
Everyone
Monday
should
Night
be watching.
Football. Can't watch that because it's over.
Everyone should be watching the Oklahoma City Thunder. Chet Holmgren, he's back. Luka makes his debut for the Mavericks tonight. Looking forward to that. I'll be watching basketball. Basketball's much cooler.
I will not be doing that. I'll be doing something else, and I don't know what it is yet. If you have ideas as to what I should do, leave them in the comments. As long as they're like appropriate. Don't leave crappy comments. I don't like that.
I'm gonna watch.
No. Oh no. Are you gonna watch Hayes Jameson? For Jeremy Lambert, I am at Joel Pearl, thejoelpearl.com on Blue Sky. Ladies and gentlemen, friends beyond the binary. We'll see you tomorrow, 10 a.m. Cheers.